Setting up your meeting for Facebook Live.
I think we're live on Facebook right now, yeah.
Nice.
We are live on Facebook.
There we are. Okay, let's just make sure that's all gone nicely. Look at that, beautiful live video.
Live video. Week after week after week with everyone.
Nice. Right, cool. Wicked. Oh, there we are. That's fun. I always enjoy the sort of like the anxiety of like, is it live?
Are we live? Who knows?
Yeah. Is it in the right place?
No one knows.
Nice. Lovely. All right, wicked. So Feisal, thank you so much for joining Rich and I today. How are you, man?
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
Good. Yeah.
Good day?
Yeah, just tired. Just got back from Bristol. I was out seeing some friends and that.
Nice. Sounds good.
Across the border?
Pretty much, yeah.
Behave.
Kind of weird leaving Cardiff for like the first time in, I don't know, when was it? Since like end of Feb, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like
It was, lockdown was, start of March or something, was it? I can't really remember now, but yeah.
Yeah, who knows anymore? It's just a day after day.
I drove to Newport yesterday to go to Le Pub for some vegan food, and it was shout out Le Pub.
Shout out Le Pub, yeah.
Shout out Le Pub, man. Great venue.
did the same thing in because I went down to Brighton to see one of my friends, and
Sick.
you gorge on like all the mad vegan stuff there.
Yeah. Brighton is sick.
Mate, so this place called Box Shop was like some of the best like vegan cooking I've ever had. It was mental.
That's a bold statement, but that's fucking great.
Also, just disclaimer for the video, if I get distracted, any of the viewers or whatever, my girlfriend's cat just caught a mouse, so if there's screaming or anything, it's just
if Ethan runs
someone
out,
dealing with
I'll try and keep the conversation going between me and Feisal. So me and Feisal had a lovely conversation just before this, and Ethan can just carry on after.
Yeah, that's it. All right, wicked. So nice. Thanks, Feisal, for joining us today.
Having me.
So obviously, bassist from Loathe, and also involved in a visual project, Feisal Visual. Do you mind, I guess, talking about how you initially got into music and how you started playing and everything?
So I remember like the main moment where I was like, I became interested in music was my dad used to have one of those like old classics.
Okay, class, yeah.
And so I think it was, you're always kind of intrigued by what like your parents are using, because it was just I was like never really had to touch, right? And then every now and again he kind of let me use it, and I kind of have a browse on what was there. And there was this like folk artist called Christy Moore that I got like really into. I was like that's like the first thing that I've been like obsessed with musically. Then along kind of came Green Day when I was like discovering stuff, and then American Idiot came out. That was the first record that I say I ever bought. My dad got it for me, but it was like the first record I ever had.
Yeah.
Right? It's yours. It's your record.
Yeah. But and I just remember being obsessed with that. And then I think I heard the anthem by Good Charlotte.
Great.
That changed your life.
Yeah.
MTV2 and Kerrang changed your life, basically.
Because just before that, I wanted to do drums, but in the houses that I live in, it's not really a thing. Not, even to be fair, even with like an electric drum kit, I just like knock down the bass pretty much.
Piss off the neighbours.
Yeah, literally. And just went with guitar in the end. Just met loads of people through it. Did it through school. Managed to get over like mad stage fright that I had initially, because it was like the worst thing ever. And now it's
now it's your job. Like
now it's your job. Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, it is. Yeah. But most of the money that we get, we kind of, or that we could take, we kind of end up putting back into the bank.
That's the important thing about it, I suppose, because it's a project, isn't it? It's everyone involved when it comes to managers or artists and stuff. It's all about how do we go to the next level with whatever cash that we can make from
everyone in the band is so like kind of visually stimulated, more so. I'd go as far to say more so than a lot of people. So we're kind of always thinking about how far we can push like any space that we have on the stage.
Nice.
That's the thing. And then obviously USW kind of helped me meet a lot of people. Started just, I don't know, it was not, I mean, I didn't really learn much from uni. If anything, it kind of
I feel like a lot of people, a lot of people who go to university, they may say the same, but if it wasn't for the people that were there, and the connections and stuff, like you already go there with an anticipation of what it is that you want to do. But if it wasn't for the people there, whether it's the people doing sound engineering or playing guitar or drums or whatever, but yeah,
it's weird, and especially because I was like kind of new to bands and all that kind of stuff. I like being in a band and that. You know how like the inception of an idea is like a really fragile thing. So kind of getting taught that, hey, this is the way you need to think. This is the way that you need to think. Kind of, if anything, was like it like made me kind of regress for a while.
Okay.
And, but yeah, thankfully met like a bunch of like really good people. Started holding absence, and then kind of went down that route. And you know, I remember like it was to the point where the course itself. I mean, no shade on any of the lecturers that I had, because I really like great people.
They're all really good people at USW. To be fair,
exactly. Like great talented people, but like the curriculum that they obviously were given to try and teach us was fucking shit.
Yeah, it wasn't fit. I suppose like I as someone who used to work on the campus and stuff, I know what you mean. Like the amount of musicians and artists and people who are invested in the arts that studied there will feel probably the same. But if it wasn't for the spaces and stuff that you had there and stuff, that's what matters, isn't it? It's how you make the most of the time and the space that you've got there.
Exactly.
And also the people. I don't get me wrong. Like you said, that you met an amazing bunch of musicians and stuff there who made the same decision that you did to go to a facility to go and do it and stuff. But no, don't get me wrong. Like I know how you feel when it comes to that. Like,
it's kind of. I mean, I guess do any of you guys think about having a student debt on your back at all? I don't even. It doesn't even cross.
I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. Like, what's earning money, man? If you earn money, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were studying in University of South Wales, and you met a good crowd of people. You started performing with them initially. What was that sort of like that change then? I suppose you said you spoke of like initial stage fright to then being in a band, and things picked up quickly for you guys, didn't they? Yeah,
kind of, because we had our original vocalist Zach in HA, and he went off to do Pine Gift after kind of we parted ways with him. And then we had Lucas, you know, and kind of that's when we, I guess, started taking it like more seriously, because we had like we put out the one song, and then 8 days later we funded the music video ourselves. We had Kurt and Abe, who you both know as well, mix and master it and everything.
Shout out.
We recorded like a couple bits with Tim as well. I think we did like the drums with Tim. And then it kind of like we each put like 38 quid each into it or something like that.
That's a very specific amount of money.
It was like it was. I remember it was that number that was like to be divided by all the five of us to make the initial music video and all that kind of stuff. And Kurt and Abe did the mix of that for free. And then we sent it off. We booked our own headline tour straight off the back of it, because I mean that was kind of like how James was thinking about doing it, which was in hindsight like the best thing we could have done. And 8 days later we basically had because we were like 6 shows in after like a day off or something like that. So it was like a weekend or something. And then we had like a message from a label in America, which isn't the same label that Loathe are on. So kind of that transition was like super simple. But yeah, it was sick. Like it was just kind of it kind of goes to show that, like, you know, you put a song out, and if you believe in it as much as you should do if you're releasing music, then
things can happen quickly.
Yeah, things can happen really quickly. Yeah. And obviously on a much smaller level, because you've got like how fast, you know, Post Malone and Billie Eilish and that blew up. So it's obviously not on that level at all.
It's pretty cool though. I think because it was. I remember seeing you guys perform in the Catay's practice room.
That
was
like a 30 cap room. It's just literally a room where
you can't even get that many people in there, can you? Like, unless you want your eardrums to blow out, you can't get that many people.
That was a great show.
That was really funny, because our one guitarist, Gio, basically just couldn't be bothered coming down to the show. So Kurt,
that's commitment right there.
Kurt learned the set in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. And wasn't Lucas wearing his football kit as well? So good.
And things like that, like where would you say personally, and also sort of on a business level, like from the holding absence stuff that you said you had conversation with the label in America and stuff, what did that mean to you, and how much further did it sort of push you guys as musicians and wanting to do a little bit more?
So initially the I think this moment that I'm about to talk about was like really important in the way that especially I thought about doing music was so essentially we literally got told at the start of it to basically write a permanent 2, like a second version of the first song that we released that got attention, and we kind of all collectively decided that we wanted to do the complete opposite, like kind of gamble that.
Yeah.
And it worked. So that kind of instantly de-pigeonholed us. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's sort of like validate you guys as musicians and stuff together. Like what we're doing is what we're doing. It's not what someone's telling us to do. It's
yeah. And there's always like, of course, you know, slight with HA kind of more input from the label, so to speak, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it was really hard because I'm not like, I was never like the fastest songwriter at all. If anything, that was like a hindrance. But like, it was interesting to see how things came together in regards to, you know, them being like, oh, okay, let's have a bit more of this, let's have a bit more of that kind of thing.
When you say like songwriter wise, obviously everyone hears the phrase singer-songwriter is just acoustic guitar and vocalist, you know, you're writing lyrics together. But did you write songs as a group? Like, as in you wrote songs in your head that you think that you could push out to guitarists, drummers, and you had a vision for it, or what was the sort of idea?
It would just be a feeling that I like, or a certain emotion that I was like kind of drawn to writing inside, and then Lucas would then do his thing over that, and then, you know.
Cool. So is it more music side, like guitar and stuff?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was just kind of nice to, you know, work in that kind of style for a while, and yeah, proud of what we ended up doing whilst I was in the band. And
as you should be.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, there was like a period where like I was very vocal with like some friends about, you know, how much I wasn't enjoying it and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of nice to come out the other end like fully in like a much better place. I'm closer with them than I was. I'm closer with them now than I was when I was actually in the band.
So yeah, things like that can happen, can't they? When it comes to writing songs, because writing songs is quite a personal process and stuff. And if acts have a specific writer in a band, or musically or vocally, and then they move on to other stuff what they're doing, as long as you can bring that back down to like you realize how much it meant to people, it's a really good thing to have with people.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. But then I think also, if you truly believe in a song, and I'm not talking about the kind of belief where you half believe in it, but in the back of your mind you don't think it's that good, that kind of thing. I'm talking about like true belief. And I know there's a lot of people who like, and don't mistake belief in something for being cocky about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, you need to be proud of something. You need to believe in what you're doing. Yeah.
So it's like listening to this and like truly feeling it. And I think when you're in a band and when you're in a band, like you're a unit of people, it shouldn't necessarily, and this is something which I've come to learn through the whole process I went through, is like, it's the band making the music. It's not, don't get me wrong, like when it comes to like royalties and all that kind of stuff, always split everything equally no matter who's done what. But like it's
people bring a lot more to music than people realize. Like, I mean, how many of you've got 5 of you in Loathe, was there 5 of you in Holding Absence and stuff? It's all about one person brings an idea to the table. You need the rest of the people to bring that to actually what it is at the end of the finished process. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Nice. It's been pretty crazy, I suppose. So looking back at that, because you started playing pretty much as soon as you graduate, or around about the time you graduated, and then has it been almost like a whirlwind, really, hasn't it, since then? Like
pretty much, yeah. I don't know. It just went from playing no shows to just playing shows all the time, and it was just like, you know, thrown in at the deep end, especially with like all the label stuff, because realistically, we were just like, yeah, sick, like barely looking at what we were signing.
Then, yes, I'll do it.
Yeah, and then thankfully, you know, Ryan came in at like the last minute when everything was getting sorted out, and he brought in like a lawyer and all that kind of stuff to make sure everything was okay. And yeah, I mean, like Ryan's just been a godsend, and like both HA and
talk a bit more about Ryan, just so people who don't know who Ryan is.
So Ryan is Future History Management. He's the owner of Future History Management, and he manages Loathe, he manages Holding Absence, he manages Sleep Token, Foxjaw, Hit the Lights. He also looks after a band called The Nightmares.
All the sickest bands.
All the sickest bands, yeah. The loud, shouty bands. He's a big fan of.
Yeah, Ryan loves it, man. But no, he's great. He's such like a calming kind of aura.
So do you think because Ryan's been in the industry for so long, and that again, not to say I don't want to say like Ryan's been there for so long, he's so old, but he's been there for so long, he knows what it's like to be someone like yourself in that situation. He's learned enough to show you how to take the steps to be where he got to effectively.
Exactly. And like when I was talking to him initially, he was just like, look, he was like, I know where we went wrong. I know where, you know, Funeral went wrong and all that kind of stuff. And he knows certain things that, you know, they might have signed or they might have done where he's just like, yeah, I wouldn't do that if I was to like redo it. But it is really cool. Don't get me wrong, there are fantastic managers that you know, I don't think have been in bands. I don't think this guy called Ian Dickinson's been in a band, but he is an amazing manager, and he's absolutely.
That's a strong surname to have.
Yeah. And then but then you know, Ryan's from like perspective of having literally been there, done that, like being on tour with like Guns N' Roses or like Avenged Sevenfold and all that kind of stuff. And
it's hard not to learn.
Exactly, yeah, man. And yeah, he's like I don't know, like a good sheep in wolf's clothing.
Big scary man who knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, I told the guy like it's as if certain things sometimes where we haven't been able to do or we haven't been able to get, and he'll be like, "Oh, just leave it with me." Like,
I'll have a word.
It's usually just like you know, I'd just pay, and I've said this so many times. I'd pay so much to just see what his email inbox is like what he says, what he wants him to do. Because he was almost like a second dad to me when I was going through it, and I was like, Jan, I love the guy.
Do you think if you'd had that the experience of releasing those records and getting picked up so quickly, if you hadn't had sort of like a guidance like that, things would be very different then, would they?
Yeah, I think so. I think I probably would have jumped the gun on certain things faster than I would have anyway. I'd like to think I'm not as impulsive now, and I'm a bit more kind of calculated.
Yeah.
No, he's good.
He's helped you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So not many people have a member of Funeral for a Friend telling them how they should pay something. So it's a pretty cool thing to have.
No,
that's good.
I think the funniest thing was when he first started managing us. Basically, my mum's quite like traditional Arab, and she's into like a whole lot of Arab artists and that. Kulthum being like the big one, and
okay.
So Ryan turns up, and Mum obviously has just no idea who this guy is, right?
Yeah.
Mum was just like, "Oh, have you listened to Kulthum? You know, and all that kind of stuff," and he's just like, "Hi."
Yeah.
It was like two worlds collide kind of thing. That's like one of my fondest like early memories of Ryan.
That's nice, man.
It is probably funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds like a you have to be there moment, but
no, I suppose like that's a life and business clash there. That's like a good thing, and then it's led to more than that. Because I'm guessing, like, obviously, don't mean to step the line, but I guess your parents know what it is that you do, they know the music that you do, and they're sort of proud of what it is that you've achieved and everything as well. But it wouldn't be for having Ryan turn up and have that really weird moment for you, at least. Like,
I say like loads of thanks to Ryan, but like my parents as well. Like my dad, he's like totally against me having a boss for anything. You know what I mean?
Your dad's your boss, and that's how life works.
Yeah, like, again, that guy's like one of my heroes. So like, it's kind of cool to just you know, have him about to kind of, you know.
That's nice, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I try, like, nowadays I try not to act like I know everything.
No,
you're a freak, man.
I think that goes for everyone. Like, your parents always know more than you do. Like,
yeah, they always will.
I'm like 25 now, and like I'm just thinking back to, like, you know, just a year ago when I was walking around, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, I know everything.
I'm so cool.
Do you not know who I am? Like, yeah,
No, buddy,
I'm Feisal from Loathe.
That's nice, man. That's good, though. I suppose it's interesting hearing about how that has affected your relationship with music and the industry and stuff. But it's not just playing you've done. You've also done a lot of stuff. You said you did guitar teching, and if you could talk about that for different bands.
Well, it was like really, really, really brief guitar teching for like a couple of shows, but that was kind of integral to me picking up photography. So my dad basically, I can't remember why. Honestly, I can't remember whether I planned to do it or not. But so the guitarist Sleep Token had a very simple setup. So I set everything up. This was at Reading Festival, and it was at Leeds Festival, and everything looked as if it just wasn't going to like mess up. And I had my dad's camera with me, and I was just like, right, I'm just going to start taking photos. Did that. Just recently had Lightroom downloaded and just started messing with that, and just really enjoyed it. And they kind of like turned out really well. And I'd always had like an affinity to doing visual stuff. I just never kind of done it with like a proper camera. I'd always be doing it on my phone and making like little edits on my phone.
Look how good my Instagram post is.
But yeah, and then it kind of just grew from there, because like Ryan walked over, because Ryan was there as well, and he walked over, he was like, oh, sick. And I was a bit like, as well, I was like, oh,
you capture that moment.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, like, you shot a couple of our shows as well, haven't you? Like, especially the ones that we've done at Tiny Rebel and stuff, and they've always come out, I mean, I don't want to ban the word perfect, Ryan, but like exactly how I imagine you want it to be. Like, it's like you've got it pinpoint down to your style and how you focus on things as well.
Unique sense, I think, of capturing.
Yeah, because you can point and shoot. Everyone can do that, but framing and everything down to how the performance is going and stuff. I think you smash it with it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
So, what are some of the favorite artists you've shot then? Because I know you went on tour with Asteroid Boys doing your photography, didn't you?
Yeah,
I bet that was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, I left the tour like 3 days into it, because we were because I can't remember how long the tour was, but
probably longer than 3 days though.
Yeah, I think it was like something like 9 shows or something. But yeah, I basically had to shoot off because that was when we were trying to book a reservation at a cottage to start writing the Loathe record, latest one, and yeah, so I just had to head home early, but that was cool. I think who else was good? Sleep Token, when I was doing them at Reading and Leeds, because that was kind of.
So that's a really crazy place to be doing that, isn't it? Like it's not like you're doing it at a gig where you've turned up really early at 2:00 in the afternoon and it's just them. Like, there's so much going on, I imagine, and you have to find the time. You personally have had to find the time to take those pictures.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I guess, you know, you just make the time if you really want to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. I know I'm going to finish this and be like, oh no, I know exactly who was really fun to photograph.
Nice, man. All right, wicked. Well, I guess the other thing we wanted to talk about really was, not too long ago, you guys had the opportunity to play in Japan and China, didn't you? So if we could talk a little bit about that, what it was like, you know, playing there compared to, say, European tour.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the whole build up to that was like pretty crazy, because we were. What do you think? We were trying to finish off the record. We had like handed in like the first draft of the record by that point, and it's so weird. Like in my memory now, and the way I'll always remember it is that tour kind of goes hand in hand with like the completion of the record, because we were still editing certain things on the album back and forth with the guy who we were co-mixing the record with, George Lever. So he was back at his studio, and we were having to like kind of go through and make sure certain things were made to be as they should be in the mix, you know, because he was like, you know, I mean, he was in the process of like mixing it, so we kind of have to go, right, let's change this, let's change that. We were in London Heathrow at the gate, still kind of sending audio files back and forth. With like the hand-in day for like mastering it, that was basically on the day, and then
Ryan cost a fortune in Heathrow Wi-Fi. He has some 100 meg files. Just take it.
It was a nightmare. So we were doing that, and obviously we got on the plane, and it was just like, right, well, we're gonna have to continue this at some point. We had like a 2-hour changeover at Bangkok when we were on our way to Tokyo. So instantly, as soon as we got off the plane, we were straight into like the gate area, and there was still just more kind of tweak.
So funny.
We're literally in Bangkok right now trying to finish.
It's like
finish
10,000 miles away from home. The last thing I want to wear is how my bass sounds.
Oh mate, I mean the way we were traveling was we had to basically dismantle our rig, and because we weren't traveling with any guitar cases or anything, so we had to take the necks off our guitars and stuff them strategically into our suitcases. We had our Mac Mini, which we were running our set off of. That had to go in someone's bag. Everything that we use live had to somehow be condensed down into 5 suitcases.
Yeah.
Plus our clothes, plus anything else we wanted to bring.
Life stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, literally.
Oh god.
And then so we were still trying to sort out bits with the records, like, you know, Eric was like pulling his hair out and that, and then we get to Japan. We meet our TM Tatsu Wally Yamaguchi, absolute legend, proper legend.
Nice.
And as soon as we get into the car, right, okay, yeah, the first show was like the biggest show in Japan, cancelled because that Hurricane Hagibis was on its way.
Excellent. So good, yeah.
We were like, oh, okay, right. So we go to where we're staying. Not after, like, you know, driving through the city for a little bit, and it was like one of the first places that, I mean, I'm sure a few people who are watching this have probably been to like Tokyo and that, so I'll probably sound like a noob, but just be like, oh my god. But like, I've
never been to Tokyo, so just be as amazed as you can.
But it was like, I mean, it was bucket list for everyone, you know what I mean? And it's like one of the first places that was pretty much how I imagined it being. It was like as magical as I thought that it was going to be. And so we get there, we get to where we're staying, and the Wi-Fi was down because obviously this hurricane was coming, or this typhoon. And yeah, so that was mad. So like one of the things that happened was the sound at the start of the record that sounds like a kind of tape reel thing is actually me closing the door of the apartment, and that rain sound was Typhoon Hagibis. It's like we were still like kind of chucking bits into the record at that point. But so yeah, I just remember like the finishing touches that like Eric was doing. He was like running it by everyone, like, is this good kind of thing, and then sending that off and being like, well, that's that. Like
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna go off and get like mastered now.
It's a phenomenal record, to be fair, and
thank you very much.
I would go as far to say there's a lot of people that would say it's album of the year. Like it smashed a lot of people's faces in a good way. Like it's a very good record. I know we were very lucky to obviously have you guys come play club for us. Like me and Ethan would, I mean, for myself, it was amazing. Like
it was a great show. Yeah.
I was stood at the back in the sound booth watching it, going, "This isn't just a band playing songs from an album. This is a show. This is like there's so much more to it." I mean, I remember helping you load in and being like, "Why have they got 4 TVs? Like,
so much shit.
There isn't a band that like
so
much TV
stuff.
to the show." Like my back hurt for like 2 weeks after helping load in and stuff, but it was phenomenal. I guess like obviously you said the door was probably the same for every other day and stuff, but be so proud of that record. It's so good.
Honestly, I think like there was I don't know, there was just multiple moments that were kind of integral to how it ended up going. It was weird because I don't even know how to describe the process other than like just a mess, but in like ended up with like the best kind of like outcome.
Organized chaos.
Yeah, and we've definitely like learned what not to do on the next one.
Well, if that's the case, then I don't even know what to expect for the next one, because the first one is just pure like from a musician's perspective, it's amazing. It's perfect. Like there's so much going on that makes sense. Like you could have just done guitar, bass, drums, vocals, happy days. But there's so much more going on.
Yeah, it's great. Very rich.
Yeah. Very rich. Yeah.
Very rich.
Not me,
rich,
but in general.
Yeah, in rich in general. So I think what's quite cool about that tour as well, I remember you guys put up like a photo where I think, had you like taken pictures of everyone individually, because you were in it as well, was it in Tokyo? You like sort of stood
right
in the city.
That
it's so sick.
Yeah, no, it was cool. Basically, we were just like, I think we'd been there for like 2 days, but we hadn't really been able to go out exploring much because obviously the typhoon and everything kind of being crazy in that. Yeah, we were just stopping random people in the street, just being like, "Can you take a photo of us? Can you take a photo of us?" So eventually we had one person that actually took a decent photo. We managed to somehow finally stop someone who was a decent.
Out of the million people you could probably have chosen.
yeah. So yeah, like that's that photo, and it's just like every single time I look at it, it kind of just doesn't look real to me. But yeah, there was that, and then we did like we shot all the artwork there pretty much. I think like almost like all the booklet art. I think there's very few photos in that were not taken on that tour, which is cool. Because the way that came about was, but like back in the Tumblr days, you'd have like photos of like crazy places and all that kind of stuff. One of them was Team Labs, and I always remember seeing that and being like, right, I really want to go there, but I have no idea where it is. And yeah, I saw a photo of it one time, and I asked the person who posted the photo, I was like, where's this? And they're like, oh, Team Labs in Tokyo. I was like, oh, sweet, I'm gonna go there soon. So
yeah,
nice.
And then you did.
Yeah, and then I did. Yeah, so I love the way that kind of happened because I don't know, personally for me, I can't speak for the other guys, but like, so I went the first time to take what photos were eventually used for like the art of the album. When I went myself, the morning. So basically, it was like this day I'll always remember as like probably one of the best days of my entire life. So basically, I woke up. I think everyone else was like kind of wanted to stay in bed, but I woke up quite early because I knew that I had to like try and find my way to Team Labs. So I put my headphones in, just listened to music, downloaded a route on like Citymapper or something like that. Spent like an hour or two making my way to this Team Labs place. Went in, took a whole bunch of photos, and then kind of like didn't really think anything of it. But it was amazing because took the photos and then found my way to the venue that we were playing. Turned up and like I was a bit late, so all my stuff was already set up. So I was
ideal.
Amazing. Yeah, it's so good. Like literally the most seamless day ever. So we play the show, and then we go out Tokyo. Just like partied until like a decent time. Get back in. I think Sean turned up at like 11 a.m. We were leaving at like 2 for China. So funny. But that's a whole other story. It's like proper hilarious. And so we then dismantled all of our stuff quickly. Went to China, and then there we initially had like 5 shows that we were going to do, but with the protests in Hong Kong, and then I think it was something to do with like an anniversary of like an emperor's birthday or something. Another one of the other shows got cancelled, which sucks. But I mean, we still had 3, and we were getting put up in amazing hotels. Ichigo Records, this guy called Bo, who owns it, was just sorting everything out for us.
Nice.
So there was the first night the first show that we did was in Beijing, and we had about 5 days there where we were just in the hotel. So Eric and I kind of decided to go through the photos that I'd taken at Team Labs and just see if there's anything in there, because by this point we'd submitted. Oh no, we didn't. So there was something else that ended up getting changed on the record, just some little details. And we were just like, right, because we were getting pressed for like artwork then. It was like, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing artwork wise. So it kind of
it's kind of weird, like you don't know what you want by that point. Like, how do you push that out to people? Like, what do you want the front cover and the back cover and the inside to look like and everything as well?
Yeah, I think
you don't think about that as a musician, do you?
No, on the contrary, like it's very much like I said. I think strangely enough, all the video ideas and all that kind of stuff. For example, like Eric had like a very kind of clear vision on what he wanted for them, and then when it came to like me and him when we were talking about what we wanted for the record cover, it was just a bit like, or what anyone wanted for the record cover. We were kind of just like, oh god, like there was one thing that we messaged someone about, and it turns out that it was just like a zoomed in image on another album that was already out. It was like a weird like face cover. But then when we were kind of like out of options, we were just like, oh well, we've got no idea. But then some of the photos that I was kind of busy editing when we were in Beijing, it's kind of just like being like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And then we kind of just eventually kind of fell in love with this one photo that I took. And then and then Eric did his thing after I like edited all the photos and the same thing, and then he put stuff together, and then we kind of like bounced that, and then show everyone else and all that, and then
so because there's a lot. I mean, it's not just the front cover. To be fair, like I've got the record downstairs, but there's a lot going on. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. Was that all your photography and everything as well?
Yeah, the photos, and the arrangement was Eric. Then yeah.
Nice.
We got kind of like this cool relationship on like that front. Where like I can just supply photos and he can just like make stuff out.
Do what he needs to do with it.
Yeah, but it's really cool. So like we've got another photographer from the Netherlands called Mark, and he was with us on the headline tour for the album, and it's just like he's a photographer, so a lot of the stuff that he's done has kind of helped with a bunch of stuff as well, and then it's just kind of works really well. And then
it's really, really good.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I was going to say it's quite an interesting dynamic, like being on tour and sort of like the motivation, like you all being together, it sort of like feeds itself, and everyone's sort of doing their bits in between the show, isn't it? You're all sort of like working on different things. It's not sort of like just sat around. Well, sometimes it is sat around. You're sort of doing stuff all the time in between those shows, and it's a very sort of like a focused experience, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, especially like when we're on stage. But I mean, like even that, I'd say the way that we've been doing it has not been like the best way that we could, because we've always had stuff pop up where rehearsals that we'd had planned or anything that like always go tits up. So we finally have a 24-hour rehearsal space as of tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's gonna be the first I'm not exaggerating when I say this. This is gonna be the first time that as this lineup that we're ever gonna rehearse for more than a day. Pretty much. Yeah. Like I mean, like, so all the times that we played live, like we had a whole literally a whole host of things that went wrong before the headline tour, to the point where, I mean, we had like a week of rehearsals booked, and we ended up only playing the new songs that we hadn't played live together as a band at the sound check for the first show, which was, ridiculous, because like Kadeem had never sung to a mirror.
Especially with like how complex they are, because they're not the simplest songs in the world, to be fair. Like
it was mad. So like, I mean, we were like really happy that we could kind of get through them on like the first night, but then as the tour went on, it just became like super comfortable. By the time we hit Birmingham, that was like the click where it was just like, oh my god.
What venue did you play in Birmingham, by the way?
At Asylum, upstairs in Asylum.
Good venue there.
Yeah, that was like the first night where everything kind of ran smoothly without a hitch.
Nice.
And then so like, I mean, we're looking at that, and we're just like, finally we have a place where we can just do anything we want. We can.
I suppose you can do that as individuals as well there.
Sorry?
Which is you can go there as individuals as well, like which.
Yeah, it's basically just going to be the brain of the band now. Like it's just where we go to get stuff done.
Go there, smash out some ideas and stuff, and if I mean, it's not like you have to pay for rehearsal room or anything like that. You can
Yeah,
you can go there, for example, and just write a bunch of stuff,
pretty
and
much,
then
yeah.
Kadim can go there and whatever, and it would just be the perfect place for you to go do what you need to.
Yeah, it's so sick. So we've got that, and so yeah, we're gonna be moving in there soon, and then
Nice.
kind of just be in a band even more so than we were before, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, we're all like so excited. It's so like, I don't know. It feels like, not that it feels like we haven't been a band up until this point, but now we're going to be able to function as like a band should.
So I guess how the beginning of this year was a really big thing. Like the tour and everything that you had at the beginning of the year is, for any band really, that level of tour and the venues and stuff you were playing, it means a lot. But what did you have booked in this year? Like, I think we had a little discussion on it before. What did you have booked in this year that I mean, it's going to happen next year. It's going to happen at some point. But what was the no? It will do. None of this. It will do. What's the plan? What's the sort of the scope? I mean, even if it's not a plan, but what's your hopes and stuff with it? Because you can go to basically anywhere really with what you guys have got.
Well, thank you. But yeah, like, I think everything that we had. I mean, because obviously, I'm not gonna lie and say that we didn't have like a lot of stuff booked for this year, because we did. But like, I feel like most of it will be moved to next year. That seems to be what's happening. Obviously, I can't confirm anything, but yeah, it kind of. But in a way, I mean, all of this, because we kind of instantly were just like, right, okay, cool, lockdowns happen, and then I think we were like quick to write off the entire year. So Ryan was kind of just like, yeah, boys, forget about shows for this year. So we were just like, obviously bummed out initially, but then honestly, I mean, I can't lie, it's really worked in our favor. We finally got a space where kind of just chatting about what we want to do next. We're kind of at least we managed to get our headlines all kind of done.
Yeah.
And the record out, kind of just, I don't know, because I mean, from like the feedback that we've been getting, especially like messages. I mean, feedback is messages.
Reviews.
Like, yeah. But like, it feels like a lot of people kind of discovered the record at the right time, because there's, I mean, I can't remember who you're talking about. There's that period, so you release it, there's the initial hype, but then there's this kind of period where a lot of people are going to be discovering it. I feel like that was timed almost perfectly with the pandemic happening, the lockdown.
I suppose there'd be a lot of people who have had nothing to do or not been at work or been furloughed or
pretty much,
getting the bus in, and then realize that they can sit there and go, what's out or what has been out, and then they discover the Loathe record and be like, this fucking blows my mind. Like,
but yeah, so I mean, so there was that, and then so I kind of, the excitement of being able to work like in the way that we're going to like work on some of the music in the future now, it just kind of sparked up this childish energy, and to me it kind of it feels like it's weird saying this, because obviously I wasn't in it from the start, but it feels like we're going to be writing like our first record. It's going to have that kind of like, I don't want to say naivety, because I'd consider us a very self-aware band, but it's going to have that kind of freshness to it, I think. Anyway, that's what it feels like. But then
that makes sense, I suppose. Especially if you think personally you weren't involved necessarily from the very, very start.
Yeah.
But what's grown from this record, at the very least, can only go further.
Yeah, for sure. And then everyone individually in the band as well has had loads of time to kind of reflect and deal with a lot of the demons that we've been facing, like in our own personal lives, which is cool. Like, I've started to get heavily into fitness and everything, which is, I can't.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned this. You couldn't wait to mention this also.
Yeah, mate, literally, honestly, it's because I honestly, I know a lot of people do fitness and all that kind of stuff, and it's obviously just a no-brainer to do it. But I was just not moving at all. I was just being lazy and just not, and I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with like how sedentary I was. And like myself, James and Ash and all that lot, like we've been starting to cane it. Even some, there's like, we've got like a whole group on Facebook, because we're all going to do like our own kind of half Ironman next year. and then we're going to do like an Ironman the year after that. And I want to do like, you know, these different cycles. And like I did London to Brighton the other day, and then I want to do Cardiff to Brighton. Then I want to do my first 100 miles next week. Oh, sorry, not next week. Like, I think I'm going to try and do it in like 2 weeks' time.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just...
I barely make it from my bedroom to the kitchen, mate, so well done.
I literally could not run a mile.
I also feel really ironic drinking a can of beer while you're talking about how fit you are.
No, I literally couldn't run a mile up just over a month ago without stopping, and now I'm doing like 5 without stopping at all. And then, well, to be fair, did like a half marathon the other day with James, and I mean, he's smashing it as well. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's just, I feel like that's going to tip over into doing music, because it's like a...
Keeps you focused.
Yeah, keeps you focused. It's like a form of self-discipline. It's just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But will that have anything to do with the rider that Loathe have, where you're like, we can't have hummus, it's too many carbs.
Everything kind of goes up. I mean, half the reason is just to get as fit as you can off tour, so that you can just become...
Yeah, just do whatever you want for 6 months of the year.
That's nice, man. It is good, isn't it? I think it helps massively. Like, I know personally, lockdown was made so much, well, not easier, but it really helped me to exercise regularly throughout it. It gave me some sort of structure and helped me get through those... Well, it's been
so
months,
glad that you've done that. I'm going to point over here to you, because I'm guessing he's there, but I've done completely the opposite, and I'm just so much heavier than I've ever been.
So long as you're happy, then it's, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, mate. Happy is fucking perfect. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah. Nice. Right. I've sort of neglected again the comments and everything. Have we?
Yeah, I was going to say, shall we try and like shoot this link into the comments and see if anyone wants to jump on? But I know Dio's watching, our friend Dio, my friend Martin's watching, Mark's watching earlier. There's Eric.
Oh, Eric, get involved.
Yeah, he said, yes, lad. Like, I don't know if anyone's got any questions or anything for the dozen that are watching and stuff. Like, yeah. Shall I check the link in and see if anyone wants to join us?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, Faisal, while you're there as well, like, there's got to be way more that Loathe have sort of got involved with festival-wise or musician-wise. Like, when it comes to shows, what would you say, and I'm putting you on the spot now, is the best show that, let's say, you personally have played, and then you think that the best show that Loathe have played and sort of pushed you out into that
Honestly,
sort of stratosphere of it?
I'd say Brixton Academy when we supported Hollywood Undead, because that was honestly my favorite thing about that show was seeing. I know this is gonna sound really weird, but like Kadeem like absolutely smashing it. Like it proper like gets to me, because I mean that guy like he like gets in front of, you know, he was doing his thing in like the shows that we were playing, and then that was like a big show, and the guy comes out and it's like he was just born to do it. Because I remember at one point like I was playing and I was like, yeah, it's all well and good, you know, I'm kind of like here like riffing out and all that kind of stuff. Riffing out. But like
riffing out. Is this Wayne's World?
You know, I'm playing the tunes and that. And he's just smashing it. Like he's like, it was as if, you know, that wasn't the first time he was playing Brixton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like Brixton was his place to be.
Yeah. It was the same for everyone, but I think that's like one of the things that like most hyped me about that show is just how like, because obviously it's important for, you know, for the front man and obviously the whole band to kind of look like a band and be a band, as opposed to just like, you know, facilitating someone else's project or ego or whatever. Yeah. But like, that was like truly amazing to see. That's that transformation between, you know, I kind of think like, it's really strange. I kind of think of it like post Brixton. Not that he was like any
a biblical event.
It was just like I was just like fucking hell, like
you played Brixton Academy, mate.
Yeah,
like man, there aren't many people, especially. I mean, you're a hell of a lot younger than I am, and I've not played Brixton Academy, so fucking well done. But I suppose when it comes to like, if I can talk personally about the record and the music and stuff, like Kadeem is as much like instrumental musically wise as the rest of the stuff as well, because it all glues together perfectly, doesn't it? He's not a front man by any stretch. It's not lyrics and it's only that sort of stuff. it's music. It's everything comes together in a perfect sort of perfect storm of everything.
Yeah, perfect storm.
I think another thing that I really like is because everyone gets involved with pretty much everything. So even on a lyrical level. So I don't know. I kind of feel like it makes us closer when a few of us have like had a go at kind of messing with lyrics that someone else has written, or you add lyrics that you've written to a tune, and you kind of put meaning to it later, and it's just like, oh wow, okay, so that's what that means. That's what I was trying to say with that. Oh, this goes in with what you were trying to say here. So like, yeah, it's proper cool. And like certain songs have double meanings, or they have, the prime example is Two-Way Mirror is very personal to Kadeem, but then it's also very personal to me in a way, because there's a sample in there from like a hospital visit to see my nan and all that kind of stuff in the background, which is what the talking is, and in that like kind of spacey bridge section. But and then I think every song in a way is very personal to everyone, because there was a lot of stuff happened to all of us whilst making the record, and I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but I feel like for me personally, like this was the one where a lot of growth happened that I tie in with certain kind of checkpoints in the album of like, oh, we did this at this point, we did this at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's nice to hear loads of musicians that I admire talk about those feelings, and then for me to kind of finally have that with the body work that I've been involved with is really cool.
It'd be really cool to do like a listen through with you guys and hear those times, because obviously I said earlier on, a lot of records or a lot of songs that people have written are guitar, bass, drums, vocals. That's all that is. But there's so much more into the record that means personal stuff to you guys.
Yeah.
Because to sit and listen through and just get you guys to be like, right, this is a bit, you talked about the hospital visit and stuff like that, but the samples and things that mean something. It's not music. It's beyond that in a way.
Well, we're all like big into film, so like, and I love the idea of going back and
there he is,
hearing things that you didn't hear the first time, and that.
Who we got?
Eric.
Oh.
Hello.
How you
What's
doing?
going on? You okay?
What's happening?
How you doing?
All right.
Hang on, can you not see me?
No,
No, you see the camera going. By the way, Sapling is a completely different podcast. We can't be part of that. Whoa, what's going on there?
So good.
Hang on.
No way, Josh.
Wild. Yes.
Now it's a party.
That's it.
Here we are.
There we go.
You all right?
How are you?
You got the kimono on.
Yeah. Hang on.
So good.
That's better. There we go.
Yeah, that's
now he's
beautiful.
relaxing.
That's
now
beautiful.
Now he's
Man.
relaxing.
Yeah.
The shorts really make it in the background there as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here he is.
There it is. That's beautiful.
How are we doing?
So good, man.
We're
So
just talking
good.
shit about Loathe, basically. So if you want to join in, it's fine.
Yeah, man. I think was it at the Brixton show where you guys like met Sam Carter and like had a chat with him, and he like did a photo of Kadeem, didn't he?
No, that was Brighton.
That was Brighton, was it?
Yeah.
Green door store.
Yeah, that's it.
Green Door Store, was it? That was cool.
I let it in and it took everything release tour.
Ah, nice. Yes, of course. What have you boys been up to today then?
Just chilling. We went to a park before, and now we're in a beach.
No.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What have you been up to?
What was I up to today? I went to see my sister, which was lovely. It was very, very nice. It was beautiful. It was good to see her.
I just did this all day.
Yeah. I got a can of Carlin after this. Me and Fiona we're gonna order Domino's. It's gonna be so good.
He's a move forward. I do. Come on, get involved.
Yeah, come closer, because otherwise you're just in the sea.
I was just updating some car details. I don't want the viewers to get my front and back.
Oh, don't worry, it's fine. Yeah,
We're all eating now.
Secure the bag, Feisal.
That's it.
Eric, we were talking earlier about like what would you say is the best Loathe show, or you personally, the best show that you think you've ever played, and then what's gone from there?
I think I agree with Brixton.
Brixton. I mean, what about not Brixton? Because I think everyone who's ever played Brixton would say Brixton is the best show that we've ever played. And you don't have to say club me for back
Amira.
because it was amazing. Obviously,
Yeah,
I mean,
London
Ethan did an
Amira.
amazing job and we smashed it. But
Amira in London, yeah, on the release tour. That was just like kind of a bit of a jump, like in an experience that we've not had before at a show.
so some of the videos from that were absolutely amazing. I remember watching them like maybe a week after that people started putting them up and things. It looked absolutely incredible. And he's gone. And it was just a palm tree there for a moment.
Oh, sorry.
A very smug palm tree.
So good.
Whoa,
It's good to have you guys on, by the way. Like, thank you for joining us. You didn't have
Yeah,
to.
nice one, man.
No, it's all right. I thought to pop by and I'm gone.
Of course,
I thought
that's
I'd
it.
pop by and say hi. It was fun to watch. So now I'm involved, and it's
Now
crazy.
you're here. Now this is
Getting
real
involved.
life.
Faisal, I realised how progressively darker it's getting now.
I know, yeah, no.
Oh yeah, Tom Williams has got a question for Eric and Josh, which is how's the holiday going? Which I'm guessing they're just looking at the background as in it goes.
It's nice. It's been hot, So
Yeah.
It's been pretty warm. Like the tan looks great, man. It's good. The really dark clothing is probably not ideal for the weather climate that you're in, but
it's attracting the heat. The
Yeah.
sun.
My melody levels are getting higher.
we spoke to Feisal earlier about like the Japan tour and stuff like that. Are you guys got anything like to sort of add to that or anything, or did Feisal cover it all? Or have you got something like Feisal is just lying about the whole thing? It was rubbish.
Yeah, we didn't actually go. It was all Zoom green screen.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, perfect.
It was, and I think we kind of we played it off well. I think.
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't. I didn't hear him talk. I didn't hear Feisal talk about Japan.
Oh, okay. So you joined at the very, very end and just jumped in on Zoom. But yeah,
And
how was the
take
Japan
that.
and the whole sort of experience for you?
It was amazing. I guess whatever Feisal would have said, I would probably agree with.
Nice.
You mentioned the
He said it was horrible and he doesn't ever want to do it again.
Yeah. That's kind of No, I'm not saying that. Did he mention the vending machines?
Oh
No, he didn't. He didn't.
The vending machines.
What's going on with them?
They're everywhere.
Of course.
You can get Pocari Sweat. You can get like Pepsi. You can get loads of like tea and stuff in these vending machines on streets and corners everywhere.
And there's no vandals, so all the vending machines are just pristine, ready for you to get that Pocari Sweat.
Yeah, and it's cold.
That sounds good.
Cool. Yeah,
But yeah, that's something I love about Japan.
What was it like playing in the venues, like getting looked after? How is that compared to like European venues then?
It was really good. We had green rooms and stuff, and it was kind of a similar sort of thing.
Nice.
We had, I think we had money to get food and stuff, so we got looked after really well. And we had Tatsu, our guy who would show us around and stuff, and he looked after us a lot. So
Nice. Nice.
fabulous.
Good.
Time.
Was Zach not able to make that tour then?
Yeah.
Zachary McAdam.
No, Zach didn't come.
Oh, poor Zach.
Don't drop that on him. Make him feel bad when if he watches this again on YouTube.
He'll come to Japan with us one day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was going to say, like, how was like the album recording and stuff? How do you feel about that with personally and stuff? Because obviously, because you do a lot of singing and stuff, and Feisal was talking about the songwriting side to it. How's that for you?
I think similar to what he was saying in terms of like we grew a lot, and we kind of like that album was kind of a turning point for us. I think it's just the same sort of feelings, but I guess for me it was just kind of letting go of any sort of security on my behalf of like sections. Like it can change and it's fine if it changes. Like the sort of like small stuff like that now I look back on, it's kind of obvious to me because I've been through the process and we understood what was right and what was wrong about it.
Yeah,
but, yeah, just
sort of. I said to Feisal earlier, like, in my opinion, everything was right about it. It's like the whole record is fucking unbelievable, but
It was sick.
and you guys put it across it so well. So be super proud about that.
Yeah, it was a stressful time. Yeah,
stress is worth it. Hopefully, like
I don't want to talk down.
It doesn't look stressful because you're sat on a fucking beach, mate.
This is the honeymoon.
It's that Spotify money, isn't it? Like
That's it, yeah.
It is the Spotify money, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm in the hut just down at the bottom of the beach there at the moment.
Yeah. Just if you do a run and we'll meet you there, guys.
I'll cycle over now, man.
Oh man, so good.
Might change it up real quick. Hang on, actually.
Oh, don't go to outer space though, because that's just too egotistical.
Well,
We'll wait for the next.
There he is. There we go. That's better.
So good.
That's better. Bit of San Fran, lovely.
That's lovely. Right, did we have? I'm terrible with checking these comments, man. I never. Oh yes.
And I think the only comment we've got is hoping the holiday is going well.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's nice.
it is. We've gone to multiple places now, so
Yeah.
we're experiencing a lot.
Well, we've got multiple loathes.
Yeah.
What's the plan? What's the idea? I know this year is a write-off, and let's not beat around the bush on that. But if next year was a thing, what do you guys like hope to sort of achieve and things other than world domination?
Feisal or me?
Either of you, but like just get stuck in.
I would just love to visit as many places as possible, and like I would really love to return to the United States. Just because a lot of our listeners right now are located there.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of give them the experience.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that'd be nice.
And then just write loads of music.
Yeah, kind of just want to kind of keep growing individually as both musicians and people as at the same speed as we are currently, I feel.
Yeah.
Because we kind of hit us. I mean, I think we've all individually hit a stride at the moment, so it's going to be nice to just apply that to the record. But yeah, Eric, I was saying about how like that conversation we were having the other day where like it feels like this is the first time we're all writing music because of like the kind of situation where we're going to have like an HQ, a proper HQ. We've got like pretty much a solid team to tour with that literally love each other like family. And it's, it feels sick. Josh being integral to that, literally honestly like the best person to have.
Is he the strongest man in the group, basically? Because the amount of stuff I watched him carry up those stairs in club, like
strongest everything.
Strongest everything, nice.
Yeah.
Put it on a badge and he's happy.
Strongest everything. Last set, strongest everything.
No guns at the moment. The gun shows off.
Just blame the gyms, it's fine. Like when the tour start up again, mate, you were the strongest man in the group.
Oh, I'll be when touring starts again.
I feel like it goes for me and Ethan the same. We can't wait for bands to want to start touring. We can't wait to start like booking shows and stuff again. And we hope to have you guys back in Cardiff at some point whenever that's able to happen. But it'll be 1,000 cap tranche next time. So
that's it. Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be sick.
We'll me and Ethan will start saving so we can book the show.
Wicked. I think this has been a pretty enjoyable talk all round. I've had a great time.
I had a great time as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric, for joining us.
Thank you.
Nice one.
The guests and Fez, thank you for joining us, man. It's been sick. Wicked.
We will see you guys hopefully on the other side.
Yeah, best of luck to you all, and keep it real. Nice. Cheers, guys. Ta-da.
Bye.
Lovely.